Welcome to Natalie's Core Yoga. Do you wake up in the morning sometimes and your neck and shoulders feel pretty stiff? I'm going to show you a really short sequence that you can do in the morning to help you relieve some of that tension and maybe move a little bit easier throughout the rest of your day. You'll need some yoga blocks and your yoga mat. Let's get started. I'm going to start in child's pose. So you want to take your knees apart and your toes together. Just let your forehead and your elbows rest down onto the floor. And sometimes when you just let your forehead come down and you take the weight of your head off of the rest of your spine, just that alone sometimes can relieve some of that tension we hold in our neck and your traps, these muscles at the top of your shoulders. So let your forehead rest down and just start to take some nice deep breaths there. See if you can breathe a little bit into the back of your body. Create some expansion across your back, ribs. Maybe feel that expansion come into your shoulder blade area. Walk your arms over to your right side. You take a big reach forward with your left hand. Let's try to keep your neck relaxed. And as you reach away from you with your left hand, you feel that you're pushing your hand also down into the floor, almost like you're trying to lift your armpit a little bit higher away from the floor. And just see if you feel that somewhere in your shoulder blade, maybe somewhere down the left side of your torso. And we're going to go the other way. Walk your arms over to the left. Take a big reach forward with your right hand. Let your neck relax. Push your right hand down into the floor. And just see on this side, does it feel any different? Your shoulder blade, or down the right side of your body. Okay, you're going to make your way back into the middle of your child's pose, but this time with your arms straight. So you're going to push your hands down. Make sure your hands are about shoulder distance apart, or maybe even a little bit wider. As you push down with your hands, can you lift your elbows up? Okay, you're going to make your way up onto your hands and knees. We're going to go through 5 rounds of cat and cow. So I'm going to try to line up your inner wrist to the inner line of your shoulder. Have your index fingers pointing straight forward on your mat. And just try to take your time. As you inhale, you're going to tip your hips up towards the ceiling. Come into a back bend or an arched back, slowly working through each vertebrae of your spine and look forward. And as you exhale, start again at the bottom. Tuck your tailbone, slowly rounding through your back, allowing your head to drop down last. Again, inhale, tip your hips up towards the ceiling, slowly working through that back bend, allowing your head to lift and look forward. Exhale, tailbone underneath you. Sometimes when we have tightness in our back, we feel these areas that tend to move in one big compartment rather than each little section or vertebrae at a time. So really try to slow it down, move with control. When you hit an area that feels tight in your back, take more time there, not less. Last one. Inhaling, hips up. Always starting from your pelvis, moving your head last. Okay, once you've done 5, I'm going to go up into downward facing dog. And curling your toes under, lifting your hips up. And then just feel there, if you feel this tightness in your legs, your hips, or your back, might be better off to bend your knees a little bit. Now, can you feel that you are trying to turn your upper arms and your shoulders outward? Just notice as you hold that, do you feel it in your shoulders? Do you feel it in your arms? Do you feel it somewhere else? Okay, then walking your hands back to your feet. And make sure that your feet are about hip distance apart. Let your neck relax all the way forward. If you can't quite reach the floor here, or if you feel any discomfort in your low back, then bring your hands onto your legs or bend your knees a little bit. And again, just let the weight of your head drop off your spine. Let your neck relax all the way down. Take a couple of deep breaths again here. Okay, then making sure your knees are a little bit bent, you're going to slowly come all the way up to standing. And once you make your way all the way up, you're going to bring your legs together. So here we're standing in Tadasana or mountain pose. And try to keep your lower ribs moving down and no gripping in your glutes. Keep your pelvis relaxed. You're going to take your arms, interlace your fingers in front of you, roll your palms away, inhale, raise your arms up overhead. As soon as you lift your arms, if your shoulders are tight, chances are your ribs are going to push forward a little bit. So can you keep your ribs moving down? Lift up through the thumb side of your hands. And as you exhale, you're going to turn your shoulders to the right, but keep your pelvis in the middle. So it's almost as your shoulders turn right, you're trying to pull your left hip a little bit back. Inhale, come back to the center, lower your arms down. You're going to switch the grip so the opposite index finger comes on the top. Try not to overthink that. Roll your palms away from you. Inhale, raise your arms up again. Keep your lower ribs down. Lift up through the thumb side of your hands. As you exhale, shoulders turn left. Pull back a little bit through your right hip. Make sure you feel like you're lifting your shoulder blades up a little bit. Not all the way up towards your ears, but a little bit up your back. Inhale, come back to the middle, lower your arms back down. Okay, now I'm going to inhale, reach both arms up in the air, turn your palms away from each other. Exhale, take your arms down and back. Let's do 2 more of those. Inhale, lift your arms up. Turn your palms away. Exhale, arms down and back. 1 more time. Inhale up. Exhale, all the way down. This time, you're going to take your feet a little bit further apart. They don't have to go very wide, but a little bit wider than your hips. And we're going to fold forward again. So now this time, if you can't reach the floor easily, then use yoga blocks, put them underneath your hands. Some of you might need your blocks higher. Okay, I'm going to take your right hand and reach it way, way, way forward. Again, be mindful if you feel your lower back, you want to bend your knees a little bit. Okay, as your right hand reaches forward, take your left hand to the outside of your right ankle or your right calf. Okay, now you're going to push down with your right hand and pull with your left hand. So it's like you're trying to pull yourself into a twist, turning your whole torso to the right. Turn your head to the right. Now as you pull with your left hand, can you feel any sensation at all somewhere behind your left shoulder blade? Okay, other side. Unwind slowly. Reach left hand out in front of you. Right hand to the outside of your left ankle or left calf. Okay, push down with your left hand, pull with your right hand. So you're turning your upper body a little bit to the left, turn your head to the left. And feel that pull as you're pulling with your right arm. Can you feel anything at all behind your right shoulder blade? Okay, unwind here. On your next exhale, you're going to walk yourself out into plank. You know, as you come into plank here, you're going to bring your legs together. And again, try not to squeeze too much in your glutes. Okay, you want to squeeze more through your inner thighs and push the floor away from you. And just waking up a little bit through your core there. If you imagine that you're pulling your hands back a little bit, you might feel a little bit more inner resistance. Okay, now stepping your feet apart, approximately hip distance apart. You're going to do this 5 times. As you inhale, lift up into downward dog. As you exhale, come forward into plank. Inhale, up to downward dog. Exhale, forward to plank. So as you come in and out of these positions, you feel the mobility and the strength required in your shoulders. Once you have done that 5 times, come back down into your plank. Couple of more breaths here. Okay, I'm going to put your knees down and have your knees apart as if you were going to go down into child's pose, but you're not. Okay, you're going to push down into the floor with your left hand and take your right hand just gently behind your head. You want to make sure that you're not pushing down with your hand. Instead, you're pushing up with your neck. So this ideally should wake up some of the muscles in your neck there. As you inhale, you're going to rotate to the right. So feeling this rotation in your rib cage. Exhale, rotate to the left. Inhale, rotate to the right. Exhale, rotate to the left. You can do 3 more, 5 times in total. Okay, the whole time really checking in, make sure that you're moving from your rib cage and that you feel that sort of pressure of pushing your head up into your hand. Okay, when you're done, other side. So right hand comes down, you're pushing down into the floor with your right hand, left hand gently behind your head. Push your head up into your hand, get some awareness there in your neck muscles. Inhale, turn left, exhale, turn right. Okay, and now notice there if it feels easier on one side than the other, particularly in your mid-back or that area underneath your shoulder blades. Once you have done 5 on both sides there, you're going to come down and lie down on your stomach. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose, so you're up on your elbows. You know, as you come into this position, you're going to try to have your elbows right underneath your shoulders and make sure your hands are the same distance apart as your elbows. You know, push down into the floor with your elbows and forearms. Pull your head back. And then see if you can look either straight forward or even up just a little bit. Okay, now feel this sense here that you're trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together. And can you get any sense of strength or even just sensation in the middle of your back, in that shoulder blade area? A couple of breaths here. Keep pulling back through your shoulders. You know, we'll go 5 times here. As you exhale, you're going to drop your chin and round your back almost like you're doing cat again with that rounded spine. Okay, then inhale, and back into that back bend. Lift your chin, look forward, squeeze your shoulder blades. Okay, exhale, drop your head all the way down, round through your back. Inhale back into Sphinx or your back bend position. Okay, 2 more times. Exhale. Inhale. Now, even though we're working here, the sequence is more for neck and shoulders, always getting a little bit into your core. Okay, core function is extremely important, just how we move throughout the rest of our day. Okay, now we're going to hold here at the bottom. So your chin is down, you're rounding through your back, you're trying to push down into the floor with your elbows. You know, just do 3 each direction, take your time. You're going to turn your head to the right, turn your head to the left, and turn your head right, turn your head left. And again, just always paying attention from side to side. Does it feel like it's easier to turn your head one way or the other? Okay, once you've done 3 each way, and then lift back up into child's pose. Okay, push back through your pelvis. Let your elbows and your forehead relax all the way down. We're going to finish here laying over some blocks. So if you don't have blocks, a big pillow or a yoga bolster will also work. You're going to put 1 block so it's going just below your shoulder blades or about the middle of your back, not too high. Okay, the second block is going to be for your head. Okay, now some of you, if you're quite tight in your neck and shoulders or even in your upper back, you're going to want this block for your head higher than the block that's in your back. So this variation here. If this feels like you could manage a little bit deeper of a sensation or a stretch, you're going to take the block for your head, put it at the same height as the other block. Okay, now you feel this block in your back, but you want to make sure it's maybe a little bit uncomfortable, but not at all painful. Okay, now sometimes if your lower back is also a problem, you might feel like you want to bend your knees here. You can experiment with different angles of your legs, see what feels easiest or most comfortable for you. You know, try to breathe into the back of your body again. And get that feeling that you're expanding through your back ribs. Every time you inhale, it's like you feel the block in your back a little bit more. Every time you exhale, can you relax into it anymore? And so we started the sequence with a little bit more active work to create some strength and mobility for your neck and your shoulder area. And just through this short sequence, finishing off in a more passive position, I'm just trying to reverse posture here. So we all tend to sort of hunch or round our shoulders forward a lot of the day. I'm just trying to create some support from that block underneath you. See if you can reverse that a little bit. Now you can stay here for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes, not much longer than that. If you start to get tingling or numbness in your fingers, you might want to bring your hands onto your rib cage, or maybe that's your body telling you that is enough. You can add some little mobility for your shoulders here. You can hook at your elbow, so right hand on your left elbow, left hand on your right elbow. And inhale, reach your arms back. Exhale, bring your arms down. You can do a few of those. Just being mindful here as you move your arms, your shoulder blades should be moving as well, not just your arms or your shoulders. You make sure that you switch your grip, so opposite arm or hand on the bottom. Do the same amount on the second side. Inhale to move back, exhale to come down. you to come out of this position. I'm going to start by bending your legs. Now, being mindful of your own body. If you feel like you're a little bit uncomfortable here, you're likely going to be better off to roll a little bit to one side and then sit up. If you feel okay, you can use your hands beside you on the floor. Just use your hands to push yourself up to sit. And that's all for your short sequence. If you'd like to do more, stay tuned for more videos or join me on Zoom. Thanks so much for watching. Follow me at Natalie's Core Yoga. Until next time, namaste.